Alright, so like I said, yes, I'm finally doing my Hulk Q&A, and as always, if I did not answer someone's question, that usually means YouTube was being an outrageous dick, and decided to either mark it as spam or not even have it show up on the list at all. So with that being said, just want to get that apology out of the way in advance. That does happen a few times, so with that being said, let's jump to the Q&A, starting off with my good friend, the Mount Vernon Kid. Hey Chris, what's up? How you doing? Anyway, so his first question is it time for a smart Hulk in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? I would like to see that, but here's the thing. A lot of people don't really, think of Hulk as the big smashing bruiser. I like smart Hulk, but I think for the most part, we're just going to be getting Savage Hulk for a lot of stuff for a while. I would be impressed if they had Hulk started talking in full sentences, but then I think some, like the common audience, normal audience wouldn't be like, oh, this, I don't know if I'm feeling this. Your second question: if Hulk saw Asura's wrath, his anger, what would he think? He'd be like, I'm still angrier than you. Yeah, so I can imagine Hulk just looking at him and be like, look at you. You're just a temper tantrum compared to me. Alright, and your final question is, you think we'll see She-Hulk in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? I think it's a possibility that we may see She-Hulk in the future Marvel Cinematic Universe. But I don't think it'll be in movie-wise. I think it'll be more like TV-wise. Like I said before, She-Hulk would definitely make a really good Netflix TV series. I think it would be a great action comedy TV show. And I think that would probably be the best way to introduce her, is in a Netflix TV show. Or, TV show on like NBC or something like that. Or ABC, whatever. So, that's what I think for that. Anyway, thank you for those questions, Chris. Thank you for those questions, Chris. It was nice to see you on here. But now moving on to Matt Bennett. His first question is, what are your thoughts on the 90s Hulk animated series? I loved it. That was actually my first introduction to Hulk. Really enjoyed it. I thought it had really good ideas, but here's the thing: you didn't really see a lot of Hulk punching people. You saw him more like throwing stuff. Now, probably because it was the same thing with Fox animated, the Fox animated shows. A lot of they were kind of against violence. That's why you didn't see Spider-Man punching anybody in the '90s cartoon. Anyway, I mean, yeah, in the later seasons you saw him punching people, so I guess it got lax now that I think about it. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Second question: how painful do you think it is for Bruce when he transforms into the Hulk? I would imagine it's incredibly painful. I would imagine that is the most painful thing. I can't even imagine turning your muscles expanding at an accelerated rate, all your organs as well growing, as well as your bone structure. Yeah, I would imagine that would hurt like all hell. So, that's what it'd probably be incredibly painful, no matter how fast the transformations are. Anyway, and your final question is, what do you think would happen if either Venom or Carnage symbiote attached or bonded with the Hulk? On a scale of 1 to 10, how fucked would we be? Well, I think the Venom symbiote has tried to. There was a point, I remember in one comic, where the Venom symbiote tried to bond a Hulk, but Hulk's rage was so great, the symbiote couldn't take it and jumped off of him. I can't remember what the comic was called, or what issue it was. But I do remember seeing that. Anyway, thank you for those questions, Matt Bennett. Moving on now to the Omnitron the Omnitron 12345, whose first question is, do you think we'll ever see the Joe Fixit Hulk in movies? If so, how would you implement him? Well, I have heard now rumors that we may see the Grey Hulk in Age of Ultron, which I'm like, I don't know, how do you, there's so many characters I keep hearing that are going to appear in here. I don't know, do we really need the Grey Hulk? Here's the thing, I would be completely fine if we had the Grey Hulk story, have the Hulk in his own film. That's what I really want. How about another Hulk movie, guys? You know, that's where you can really bring in the Grey Hulk. He's a lot weaker, but he's smarter, and I would like to see that. I think it would be really cool. I think what I would implement him is that Banner tries to find a way to cure the Hulk. It uses another method to cure the Hulk through mental blocks. I don't know, find some psychic or something. Well, not really psychic. Find some kind of device or something that tries to block out the Hulk, but instead it has an adverse effect and makes him, the Grey Hulk, and hence becomes the Joe Fixit Hulk. Anyway, so your second question is, do you think the idea of the Professor Hulk would have worked better if they had made it where Bruce was stuck in Hulk form, yet still had to deal with the mental effects of getting angry and slipping into Savage Hulk, or worse, Mindless Hulk? I think Professor Hulk worked on its own as Hulk having Banner's intelligence, but there was a point where it was Bruce, Banner's mind that was in the Hulk, but then eventually they wrote it like, it's really the Hulk's mind that's in there. Banner's just is somewhere in there. Hence why Professor Hulk became such an outrageous dick in later comics. But anyway. But I think that would have been. I wish they kept that kind of idea of Bruce's mind inside the Hulk rather than but it's just really the Hulk's mind in there. He just got smarter. All right. And your third question is: if the Hulk was sent to the DC universe after Superman died, assuming he stayed dead, do you think he would take Superman's place as DC's strongest hero? And if so, how well do you think he would have handled Superman's usual villains? I think Hulk would have been like, because when Superman died, Hulk still had his intelligence, so I think Hulk wouldn't be like, I don't want to deal with your problems, I got my own, I'm stuck in a universe that, no one knows who I am, and I'm surrounded by all you assholes. So, yeah, I don't think Hulk would be dealing with that. Although, on the other hand, people would just look at him, I think people would mistake him for like another Doomsday, really. They would just see this green hulking monster and think, oh my god, it's another type of Doomsday. Yeah. So Hulk wouldn't be taking up any roles. He'd just be like, alright, who am I smashing first? Alright, so thank you for those questions, Omnitron. Moving on to Malingar, whose first question is Hulk versus Superman. I know it's been done to death already, but I'm more curious about your opinion on who would win and if you'd like to see a death battle or superpower beatdown depicting the fight. Well, I think the main thing is that it's been done in comics, and I don't know. At this point, I'm just like, You see, that's the thing with a lot of fights like Hulk versus Superman. I've seen that enough. I've seen that enough in comics and a few other places in the media. People talk about it all the time. The thing is that I just don't really, when where there's a fight out there, like it's Batman versus Spider-Man or something like that, I'm just like, everyone thinks of that. I like thinking outside the box when it comes to something like that. Would I like to see it on something like Screw Attack or Superpower Beatdown? Yeah, sure, those are always fun. Sometimes I'll just watch those just to be like, I want to watch I want to watch a fun fight in animated form or live-action TV form. So if they ever do that, yeah, I'll sit down and watch that. Either it'd be Death Battle or Superpower Beatdown. I don't know how they would do Hulk, though, in Superpower Beatdown. Anyway, your second question is, what do you think of the whole Hulk can pick up Thor's hammer because he can pick up Thor's hammer while he's holding the hammer debate? Oh, okay, let me reread that. Hulk can pick up Thor's hammer because he can pick up Thor while he's holding the hammer debate. I understand the magic of the hammer works in that regard. I'm just curious what you think of this logic. Well, here's the thing. Thor's a totally different person from his hammer. Thor's not Thor doesn't have a special enchantment on him. He does not have that at all. Thor's hammer, on the other hand, is a totally different reason. I mean, yeah, in the Ultimate comics and in the Ultimate animated movie, Hulk picked up the hammer, but that was a different continuity. That wasn't really enchanted until, I don't know, because they were still kind of in the Ultimate universe. kind of like half in, half out about, well, is he really a god? Or is he an alien? Or something else? And then they eventually went, nah, he's a god. It's cool. So, there you go with Hulk being able to pick up the hammer. But in here, like, Hulk's never been able to pick up the hammer in... Hulk cannot pick the hammer up because he's deemed not worthy of it. Or if you know, there's a really cool scientific explanation for why people are, why people think the hammer is enchanted, according to Banner's science in Mark Waid's Indestructible Hulk, which I thought was pretty interesting. Anyway, so thank you for that question. And your final one is, what do you think would happen if the Doctor brought on Bruce Banner as a companion without knowing about the Hulk? How do you think the Doctor would react to his first reveal on board the TARDIS? And do you think the TARDIS can handle punishment the Hulk could dish out? I think the TARDIS would probably be like, get the fuck out of me. And, you know, the Doctor would be like, oh my god, this guy's a monster. I need to find a way to calm him down before he tears the entire TARDIS inside out. I don't know how long this, what kind of story, line I would go with, but yeah, more or less be Hulk running around and the TARDIS trying to get him out of itself. So, that's my thought so far. So, anyway. Thank you for those questions, Malingard. Now coming on to Victor De Silva. Crossover battle, but with a twist. The Incredible Hulk from the 2014 Hulk and the Agents of Smash series versus a rarity from My Little Pony. How would they react to one another and why? That's interesting. Hulk versus rarity. I don't think Hulk, especially if you're going by the, I don't really like Agents of Smash, along with the rest of the, Ultimate Spider-Man and Avengers Assemble cartoons. If anyone out there watching this likes them, that's totally fine. No ill will against you. Me personally, I just don't care for them. So, yeah. Now, I don't think Hulk would smash Rarity. He'd be like, pretty unicorn, and just pet her. Like, he would just pet Rarity. While Rarity would scream and faint. Alright, your second question is, how did the Hulk ever learn basic English after decades of his first appearance in comics, when he was just a monster who could barely say a few words, let alone a full sentence, to a green monster who can now speak clearly now with a broken English, but doesn't act like the old self? Okay, here's the thing. In comics, even in the earliest comics when Hulk first appeared, he was able to talk in, in a coherent sentences. When Hulk first appeared, he was the Grey Hulk first, and even when he became green, he could, he could actually speak clear language. The thing is that, again, according to Banner, is that there are certain factors that vary in Hulk's intelligence. But then if you look at the Peter David stuff, it's more like there are multiple types of Hulks inside Bruce Banner's mind, and there could be the Savage Hulk, the Mindless Hulk, the, Joe Fixit Hulk, and, the Professor Hulk. There are multiple points in, it all factors in how Banner became angry or however got his adrenaline pumping to get that type of Hulk out of him. So Hulk's always been intelligent, but Marvel, you could actually say, well, Marvel just likes to make him stupid more often. I personally I'm totally fine with either Hulk Smash Hulk or Hulk that is capable of speech. Because I think that makes him a lot more dangerous. A thinking Hulk is a very dangerous Hulk. Anyway, so third question: if the Hulk had stumbled upon the Show and Jump universe by accident, how would he react to their world and environment, and why? And no, it has not. It has not been from the. It has to be from the Shenshio lineup. I hope I said that right. No Attack on Titan, no Space Dandy, no Full Metal Alchemist, no Soul Eater, no Black Lagoon, no Elfen Lied, and especially no Gundam. Well, Hulk would definitely smash his way through, I don't know, several universes. I don't even want to talk about the DBZ universe, so, I don't know how that would go, honestly. I really don't. But anyway, thank you for those questions, Vector Da Silva. Moving on now to King Nazaru, whose first question is, how do you think the Hulk would react to watching the Hulk in the Agents of Smash and the rest of the Marvel animated universe? He would just be like, what else is on? And just change the channel. That's how I feel. It would just be like, I don't care. Change the channel. Alright. What would Hulk and Bruce think of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and vice versa? I think Dr. Jekyll and Bruce Banner would be like, well, we have our own monsters and we have to deal with this. While Hyde and Hulk would not get along. Hulk would just smash Hyde, unfortunately. If we're talking about the Hyde from, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, there may be a fight there. But if it's just regular from the book Hyde, yeah, he's not staying long. Yeah. And your final question is, what would Hulk think of Nicki Minaj's Anaconda video? He would just go like, here's the Hulk's reaction to that. She ain't seen my Anaconda yet. I'm sorry for that image. Anyway. Thank you for those questions, King Nazru. Now moving on to Lydia Sebreros. I'm so sorry, Lydia. I keep butchering your last name. I'm sorry. So, Lydia asks, who is your favorite Hulk villain? Ooh, favorite Hulk villain. You see, the Hulk's rogues gallery is very vast and very differentiating. But the thing is that there are two main villains that the Hulk has always contend with as his, arch enemies. When you think Hulk, you usually think of one of these two villains, Abomination and the Leader. And they've both respectively done a lot, with those two characters. But, the Abomination did so much, Emil Blonsky did so much to the Hulk's life. He more or less, ruined his reputation, used gamma poisoning from his own blood to poison Betty, and then frame him and leave him depressed for years. Yeah. He murdered his wife out of rage, and then just made Hulk, public enemy number one again, and, destroyed his relationship with his father-in-law. Yeah, he's done some evil things, So I can't, the Abomination is always awesome, and I got kind of pissed off that Marvel decided to kill him off for good. So, anyway. But, honestly, I think if you wanted to add, he was also a physical, the Abomination was also a physical opponent for the Hulk, and I've always liked him. But here's the thing. He, over the years, I've been really liking the Leader more. The Leader may be, in fact, my favorite Marvel, not Marvel supervillain, Hulk supervillain. My favorite Hulk villain. Because it's the classic tale of brains versus bronze, and, the Hulk and Leader, the Leader has all this great intelligence and, he can make these entire civilizations and all that. But here, this big mindless green brute comes in and wrecks all of his shit. This, he's one of the smartest people. He should be like an enemy to, Mr. Fantastic or Iron Man. But yet, his arch enemy is this big hulking Goliath who, just wrecks everything that he touches. The Leader builds or whatever. So I would have to say the Leader, with Abomination at a close second. Your second question: do you want to see Mark Ruffalo get a solo Hulk film, and who would you like to direct it? I would love it. I would absolutely love to see Mark Ruffalo get another Hulk film. I really want that. But we may never get that. And the sad part, directing it, I don't know. I really don't know who I would pick to direct it, honestly. And I don't want to spring for something obvious like Del Toro or something, because he's off, doing Pacific Rim 2 and about 3 other projects right now. So I don't want to spring for him, So I don't really know, honestly. I really don't. Maybe Gareth Edwards? That's a possibility, but it's a long shot. Anyway. And your third question is, do you want to see a version of Rick Jones in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? I know he's mentioned in opening credits of The Incredible Hulk, but do you think he should be in films, and who should play him? And you said your choices are Dylan O'Brien and Nathan Kress. Oh, okay. I could buy that. I would absolutely love to see Rick Jones in here, because Rick Jones isn't just a Hulk character. You know, he showed up. He started out as a Hulk supporting character, but eventually he became not only a friend to the Hulk, but also the rest of the Avengers. He became their ally as well. So I would like to think that somewhere down the road I'd like to see him. Even in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I think it would be cool to see Rick Jones show up. Would I want him as A-Bomb? Nah. I don't mind him as a Hulk, but I prefer, the good old Rick Jones. So, either way, as for actors, I don't know. I'm not really good with casting, as most of you guys know. But I like the two you mentioned, Lydia. So thank you for those questions. So, okay, moving right along. Sorry, I had to get some water. What would happen if the... Okay, excuse me. This question comes from Linerman0245, who asks, what would happen if the Hulk and Ed from Ed, Edd n Eddy ever teamed up in a chance to get Jawbreakers from the candy store? Okay, for this very situation, here's what would happen. Hulk smashes through the candy store wall and just says, give them the Jawbreakers. And they get the Jawbreakers. End scene. But I just imagine Hulk, especially if this is Savage Hulk meeting Ed, he would just be like, Wormbrow Hulk friend now. And Ed would be like, big green monster, Ed has found a friend. And then you'd hear, let me tell you about my best friend, he's a worm. I'm gonna stop now. Anyway. So, second question is, what would happen if Hulk gained Ultra Power from a lone Ultraman? We'd all be screwed. I can't even fathom, Gamma Power with Ultra Power. We'd get Ultra Hulk. Ugh, that just sounded terrible. Anyway. And your final question is, if Hulk and Catbug switched minds for a week, what chaos would ensue? I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, Hulk would just be like, I'm Catbug. Hulk would just be like, ugh, I feel cute and it's disgusting. and Catbug would be like, he would just be playing Cat Hulk theater. Anyway, thank you for those questions, Linerman. Next set of questions come from Major Badass, and Major Badass' first question is, what anime cartoon powerhouse, excluding the DBZ characters, would you like to see the Hulk face off with? What, outside of DBZ, who would I like to see the Hulk go toe-to-toe with? That's a tough one. Because here's the thing, Hulk is so powerful, it's really hard to find a good opponent for the Hulk to fight in, any universe. Especially in animation. I would have to say, maybe, in terms of, cartoons and anime especially, I would have to say, this has got me thinking here. Who would the Hulk go toe-to-toe with? Maybe Jenny from, My Life as a Teenage Robot. She could probably take a beating from the Hulk. Yusuke from Yu Yu Hakusho. I would even say Shishomaru. Yeah, Shishomaru from Inuyasha. I would say Sailor Moon. Look how powerful she became, galactic level powered when she became, Princess Serenity. So, anyway, those are just to name a few. Oh yeah, and Saber from Fate Stay Night. There's another one. Or better yet, Iskandar from Fate Zero. Anyway. Second question. Your second question is, do you think if he was angry enough, Hulk could do Gurren Lagann level shit? Punch holes through galaxies. I've seen him get angry to the highest degree. He has been able to do that. I mean, yeah, I've seen him, do some incredible feats like, hold up an entire mountainside during the 80s Secret Wars comic and hold up an entire mountainside to make sure the other Avengers were, the Avengers and every other superhero that was involved in that event were safe for like over a day, and a few other things to name it. But I've never seen him do like punch a hole through galaxy or something like that. I don't think he could. Anyway. And your final question is, what other misunderstood monster or powerhouse do you think the Hulk could get along with if the encounter was calm? I think, in terms of that, like, if he encountered another misunderstood monster, maybe Hellboy? Yeah, him and Hellboy would probably get along if it was on good terms. Can't really think of anybody else. But, yeah. Anyway, thank you for those questions, Major Badass. And moving on now to Christian Sager, whose first question is, what if the Ape Society from Dawn of the Planet of the Apes was hit by a gamma bomb? My thought, destruction. Yep, right there. Gamma-powered apes with super intelligence. Yeah, I would not like to see what would happen next. Second question is, Hulk versus Kirby. Keep in mind, Kirby is a confirmed planet buster. He may be small, but Kirby can karate chop a planet in half, eats Hulk, Gamma Kirby. That would be admittedly cool. And I personally like the fight between Kirby and Majin Buu. Not like it was so hilarious. It was just kind of fun to see, Kirby and Buu fight. And also Majin Kirby. Here's a message to Nintendo: make Majin Kirby a thing in the video games. I will buy like 30 copies of whatever Kirby game it is if you bring in Majin Kirby. I'm just saying. I mean, just say that. Majin Kirby. How badass would that be? Anyway, I'm getting off topic. But yeah, Gamma Kirby, Gamma Kirby. So adorable, yet so destructive. Alright, and your third question is, Hulk discovers Satsui no Hadu. For those who don't know, that's Akuma from Street Fighter Special Attack. So, that would be bad. We'd all be fucked. We would all be fucked. Alright, moving on now to Alec Johnson. Alec Johnson asks, do you think Bowser from Super Mario series would be an awesome Hulk villain? Here's the problem. Bowser got his head so far up his ass, he can't, he lets a little plumber beat him on occasion. So he's incredibly arrogant, but he can pack a punch, so maybe in a one-on-one brawl between, Hulk and Bowser would be interesting. So, yeah. When I think about it, man, it'd be interesting to see at least a fight between the two. Alright, second question. If the leader ever appeared in a Hulk movie or a Marvel movie in general, who would you cast as him? Well, I don't know. The guy they had was an interesting pick to play Samuel Stern, but I think at this point maybe a recast would be okay. I mean, they've done recasting before in a few places, but, I mean, obviously with, we didn't see Edward Norton play the Hulk in Avengers now, did we? So maybe if we could recast the leader, I would have to say maybe Mark Strong. I know he's an obviously go-to guy for villain casting, but he plays villains so well. So maybe he can maybe he can do that. I don't know. Again, I'm not so good with the casting. And third question: do you think the Hulk in the Agents of Smash TV show is a piece of shit like Ultimate Spider-Man, and would you want to? Oh, hang on. Yeah, I do think it's a bad show. I really do. I mean, again, if anyone watching this does like anything from the Marvel animated shows, that's totally fine. No ill will against you. Hell, I've watched a few episodes of Avengers Assemble here and there. It's not terrible, but I look back on, Earth's Mightiest Heroes and be like, why can't you be more like this, Assemble? Seriously. So yeah. And yes, I saw your other question, so yes, I did answer your questions, Alec Johnson. So yeah, I have answered your questions, so I hope I think I answered your questions last time too, or maybe I missed them due to, obviously, again, that wasn't, if I didn't answer your questions last time, that was probably because YouTube was being a dick and, either marked it as spam or didn't even have it show up in the last time. So, I'm glad, I'm sorry, I'd like to apologize in advance for saying, I'm sorry if I missed your questions last time, but it was probably because YouTube was being a dick. So hopefully this makes up for it. I can only hope that this makes up for it. Anyway, so thank you for those questions, Alec Johnson. Next comes Green Arrow Hunter, who asks, should Marvel resurrect Kyra? At this point, with what's going on in Secret War, what's going to happen in Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars, I don't think that's a possibility. And even if it does, it wouldn't last long. And I think that she's going to be one of those characters where it's like, yeah, you served your purpose, we got Hulk's son, we don't need you anymore. I feel like that's the sad... Kyra was such a cool character, too. I thought she would, I thought the romance between her and Hulk was very, nicely well done. But, yeah, I just can't, I don't think Marvel will see her as like, oh, she's a character we need to bring back. That's the sad part. Alright. If the Hulk gets mad enough, could he grow into the size of Giant Man? Again, size changing is not one of his things. Hulk can get big, but, Hulk can't get Giant Man big. Again, that's not, Hulk's rage just fuels into his body. It doesn't give him, it amplifies his powers, but it doesn't really give him new ones. So, yeah. Alright, third question. Could the Hulk take the leadership of the Red Lantern Corps from Atrocitus if he existed in the DC universe? That's a possibility. I don't, a Hulk fight, Hulk versus Atrocitus. I don't know, because I think Atrocitus would have the other Red Lanterns, along with himself, try to overwhelm the Hulk. I can't even think of Hulk fighting the entire Red Lantern Corps and how that would go. So thank you for those questions, Green Arrow Hunter. Now moving on to 146 Zigzag, who asks, do you prefer Green Hulk or Gray Hulk? I'm fine with either Hulk. I'm totally fine with either Hulk. I mean, I love all Hulks. I love all Hulks. Speaking of Hulks that I like, let's talk about your second question. What do you think of Red Hulk? At first, I didn't care much for the Red Hulk because I felt like he was just this MacGuffin character that could do anything. Like, what was the goddamn point of him jumping up to the moon, jumping up all the way to the moon and punching Uatu, the Watcher, when he was still alive? What was the fucking point with that, Loeb? No, seriously, I'm asking, what the fuck was up with that point? Was that just supposed to get laughs? I don't know. Didn't make me laugh. So, yeah. Also, the whole thing of him picking up Thor's hammer and all that. What was... Because that was the thing, Loeb was saying, oh, he's the most powerful being in the Marvel Universe now. And now we all know that he's toned down now. And I really did like what Bendis and, Bendis did in his run with Avengers when he showed up there. And as well as what Jeff Parker did after Loeb left, of making the Red Hulk like this kick-ass secret agent type character. I thought that was pretty cool. So it was a character that I had to grow on, especially when I found out he was Ross, because when I found out, the Red Hulk was Ross, that made me, think to myself, that made me, what was I saying? Where was I going with this? It was basically, Ross had become the very thing he hated. That was such a cool idea. And especially with Jeff Parker and Bendis, they really ran with those ideas. I mean, Loeb was just kind of teasing this idea, and when you think about it, and when they reveal how Ross became the Red Hulk and how they kept it a secret, I was literally like, man, that is so convoluted. But thankfully, it was a cool idea that, that initially looked bad, but then, other writers, fixed the problem and made it interesting. So, thank God for that. So yeah, he was, the Red Hulk, is a character that I had to grow. You know, Ross as the Red Hulk was something I had to grow on. That had to grow on me. All right, your final question is: who has a harder life, Bruce Banner or Beast? Banner. Banner has to, you know. Although, again, in Mark Waid's run, it basically had Banner like, well, I'm never going to be get rid of the Hulk. He's like diabetes. You know, I could subdue him any way I can, but the he's gonna find his way back. That is the weirdest terminology I've ever seen for the Hulk, and it was written by Mark Waid. Yeah. Anyway. I think those questions, 146 Zigzag. Next questions come from Marquise Rogers, who asks, first question is, do you believe that the Hulk is being controlled in Avengers 2? I don't know, like, there's a possibility it could be, you know, either Ultron's controlling him, or maybe Hulk's just lost his fucking mind. Who knows? So, I'm just gonna have to leave it up to a we'll see until we see more of the see the movie. I don't want to have it spoiled in the trailers, though. I really don't. Because that kind of spoiled the whole thing in Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Sony doing all those extended trailers and sneak peeks and TV spots. It really just kind of ruined the movie. So hopefully, if he is, maybe it'll be a nice little reveal in the movie in and of itself. Anyway, your second question is, what's your favorite Hulk comic? I think, like, if Hulk's story, Planet Hulk and World War Hulk, I love those stories. A lot of the Peter David run, especially like that one and done story of the Joe Fixit Hulk and that Wolverine fight with the artwork by Todd McFarlane. That was awesome. There's also a really cool Thor issue that's in the Hulk comic. It's not really in the Hulk comic. It's not really a Hulk story, but it's a Hulk and Thor fight, and it's one of the most awesome comic book fights I've ever seen. It's in Thor number 398. Yeah, Thor number 398, I believe. And it's a one and done issue of the Hulk, who at this point is separated from Banner, and he's kind of like just attacking people. He's just kind of nothing without Banner, and he's just angry about it. So he gets into a fight with Thor, who abandons the hammer and goes one-on-one with him, and they just wreck a small town in Alabama. It is torn to shit. I mean, Hulk hits Thor he just grabs a train off the rails as it's coming towards them and just slams it down on Thor. It's so cool. I just found that it's not even a Hulk story, but it was like, that's just one awesome fight. Also, Hulk number 377, which most of you guys know, that's the Peter David run issue where where we got Professor Hulk for the first time. That's a really cool story of how that all comes to be. Anyway, so thank you for those questions, Marquise Rogers. I hope I'm saying that name right. Next comes Jacob Bernard, whose first question is, what is your favorite version of the Hulk? Like I said before, I'm totally fine with all types of Hulk, as long I'm fine with either Smart Hulk or Dumb Hulk, as long as you don't. I'm fine with either one. I guess it depends more on my mood, really. If I'm in the mood for like a Hulk smash type of Hulk, or a Hulk that can is capable of sentient thought. You know what I mean? So anyway, your second question is, who is your favorite Hulk writer? Peter David. You can't go wrong with Peter David's run. That's one of the needed go-to runs in not just in Hulk comics, but in comics in general. That's one of the things like Chris Claremont's X-Men run, or the Stan Lee Spider-Man run, and the Jeff Johns Green Lantern run. It's one of those runs. If you're a comic book fan, you have to read, because it's one of those life-changing stories, really. And it really put the Hulk on the map, more or less. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you for that. Thank you for those. Oh wait, you've got one more. Sorry. Do you think we'll ever see Joe Fixit in the MCU universe, Marvel Cinematic Universe, and how would you bring it in? I kind of already answered this question already. I don't know how I'd bring him in, but I think it would be cool. So, yeah, sorry, Jacob. I kind of already answered this question. Anyway, Next questions come from Damien Rojano. I do apologize if I'm completely butchering that last name, but Damien's first question is, what is your favorite incarnation of the Hulk in any of the animated series or animated movies? Okay, I'm going to answer this one because this is asking not so much the comic book version, but more of the animated series. I would have to say my favorite animated series Hulk is... Sorry, I had to get some water. But yeah, to answer that question, I think my favorite animated Hulk is probably, Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes Hulk. That Hulk was not only intelligent, but you could see, like, the whole Hulk smash thing, the kind of thing going on, where, everyone thought Hulk was this big, dumb brute, but he still had Banner's intelligence inside of him. And I love that moment where, Tony's looking at all this types of radiation, cosmic radiation, and he's talking to Hulk, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot, you probably wouldn't be understanding this. And Hulk just says, that's gamma radiation, you idiot. Yeah. What, Hulk just shows him up, and I love it. So I think that's my favorite animated incarnation of Hulk. Anyway. Second question, do you think the Power Rangers team up in Megaforce would be enough to defeat the Hulk, to defeat World War Hulk? I don't think so. This is World War Hulk, the World Break, or as he's better known as, the World Breaker Hulk. So, I feel bad for for Super Megaforce if they're fighting the World Breaker Hulk. Yeah, because that's not only a smart Hulk, that's a very powerful Hulk, and knows battle tactics, and is an excellent swordsman. Not liking the odds here, sadly. And your final question is, who do you think is the Hulk's most threatening villain in his rogues gallery? I'm going to answer this one because it's not asking about my favorite villain, it's more about asking about who do I think is his most threatening enemy. I would have to say Abomination, as much as I love the leader, because again, the Abomination's done so much to fuck up, systematically take apart Bruce Banner and the Hulk's lives. Taking Betty away from him, several other just tragic moments. But the death of Betty Banner comes to mind first and foremost. Before she was resurrected as the Red She-Hulk. Anyway. So thank you for those questions, Damien. Next comes Alistair Boneman, who asks, if you were able to create a new person to take on the mantle of the Hulk, who would they be, and would you make them good or evil? I don't know, because it's always been Bruce Banner. It's always been Bruce Banner who always has and always will be the Hulk. Always has and will ever be the Incredible Hulk. So, yeah, I don't know. If I did, it would have to be like maybe a darker Hulk, like a more sinister Hulk. And really, maybe if I did, it would probably be more of a Jekyll Hyde kind of personality thing, where it's not more like Hulk wants to be left alone. No, this Hulk is a total fucking asshole and is completely evil. Whereas the guy would be good-natured, but but this type of Hulk is evil. You know what I mean? Really take that whole Jekyll Hyde aspect and really take it to another level. So maybe go with that. Anyway, thank you for that question. Second question. If you could make a new movie for the Hulk that ties into the Marvel movies starring Mark Ruffalo from the Avengers, who would be the villain and how would you play out the rest of the movie universe of that story? I kind of did a video with this a while back with my good friend Serpentine451, and we talked about this where I would have the leader as the villain, but also have him make Ross into the Red Hulk. And also, or have Zax in there, either Zax or the Red Hulk, as the secondary villain for Hulk to fight in the story. So that's kind of a groundwork of what we kind of would do. Anyway, so thank you for those questions, Alistair Boneman. Next comes Darth Venom, whose first question is, if you could make it... Okay, I've already answered this. Sorry, Darth Venom, I already answered this. And also your other Hulk villain, favorite Hulk villain. Sorry, I already answered this as well, so I have to skip them. I can't answer this one. How would the Hulk, Red Hulk, She-Hulk, and A-Bomb react to meeting Caesar and the Apes, Kong, Godzilla, and the Dinobots? I think with Caesar and the Apes, where they would be like, bunch of damn dirty apes trying to pick on us, let's just step on them. Kong would be also the same thing, unfortunately. Whereas Godzilla, you see, the thing with Hulk and Godzilla is that that's a tough one, because both Godzilla and the Hulk can absorb and discharge radiation from their bodies. That radiation can make them stronger, and that's kind of the thing. Like, could Godzilla absorb Hulk's gamma radiation into his body and just keep the angrier Hulk gets, the stronger he gets, and the more of that gamma radiation just keeps expelling from his body. So Godzilla could just keep consuming it and getting stronger and stronger as well. It would be kind of a never-ending fight, especially if you put the other Hulks in there as well. And for the Dinobots, oh yeah, the Dinobots and the Hulks would get along fine. Could you imagine the amount of devastation they would cause in just a sparring match? I don't. Anyway, thank you for those questions, Darth Venom. Next comes Cody Bradish, who asks, do you think a World War Hulk animated film should have been made to follow up the Planet Hulk movie? I would have liked to seen that. I really would. But here's the thing. Sorry, I had to get some water. Here's the thing. At the moment when the Marvel animated films were being made, they didn't have the rights to certain rights to certain characters. So, obviously in Planet Hulk, they used Beta Ray Bill instead of Silver Surfer in that scene in the gladiatorial match in Planet Hulk. But yeah, if they had the chance, I would have loved to see World War Hulk be a great follow-up. But they didn't have at the moment. They didn't have certain rights and it was an animated film. So even if they had the animation rights and TV rights to Spider-Man, they didn't have the animated movie rights to use Spider-Man and several other characters that were kind of vital to that story, unfortunately. So, yeah, I would have liked to seen it, but it would have been very difficult. All right. All right, second question. What about Hulk makes him your favorite superhero? By the way, he's yours too. Okay. Why is the Hulk my favorite superhero? Here's the reason, guys. Growing up in, junior high and high school, especially where I lived, it was kind of, being a nerd made you a target. Being a geek and reading comics made you a very, a target to certain people. Obviously assholes. And I was picked on constantly, and I had a major temper. I never had a way to channel my anger. I was a very angry person, and I wouldn't say I would get into fights and shit. I mean, I got in a few fights, not saying I won them, mind you. But, I could relate to the Hulk, not only just the Hulk and, having that, having that power to release all that anger and, show all that rage and focus it and drive it at another force. But also, I really related to, sometimes more so to Bruce Banner. I sometimes related more so to Bruce Banner, because here's another guy who's very smart, very intelligent, wants to just go on with his life, marry the girl of his dreams. The problem is everyone just loves stepping on him. And, I felt, I could deeply connect with that kind of story. So that's just a little reason. I'll go into more detail, but we've got so many questions. I'd go into more, but that's the general basis of why I love the Hulk, and as well as Bruce Banner as my favorite superhero, or heroes, depending on how you look at Bruce and the Hulk as either separate entities or one. Tomato, tomato. But yeah, I would go into deeper detail, but there's still a lot of questions to answer. So thank you for that question. And your final one is, while back there were rumors of a second live-action Hulk TV show. Is that something you'd be interested in? I would love another Hulk TV show. I would think that would be really cool, but the problem is that that's been in development hell for years. For years that's been in development hell, and, man, at this point I would just say they're probably going, Marvel's like, fuck it, let's just keep Hulk in the movies. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for those questions, Cody Bradish. Next comes Travis Rendon, who asks, how do you think... How do you like Scar from either the comics or the TV series? I personally like the comic book version of Scar. He's like a gamma-powered Conan the Barbarian, and I loved how they showed in one comic with when he was fighting Daken, that kind of idea. I love that. They showed him Conan the Barbarian. I thought that was really funny. But yeah, I personally like Scar. I think it's cool that Hulk has a son and trying to, help him, and, trying to be a father. Not just a... I also loved when, Hulk, Banner lost the ability to turn into the Hulk, and it was just Banner and Scar. I love that little road trip between the two. Anyway, second question is, would you fuck have sex with, or marry She-Hulk? I would do neither. Because I don't want to be, when Jennifer, when She-Hulk loses a case and comes home pissed, I don't want to be, around that. And also, I don't think, she'd probably break my pelvis. Guys, I would be broken in half if ever had sex. I mean, yeah, She-Hulk drawn very beautifully. Try and have sex with that. I mean, she'd probably, rip someone in half if she climaxed. I mean, yeah. She had sex with Iron Man. God knows how he didn't have a hernia after that. But anyway, so, and your third question is, have you ever seen the Wolverine versus Hulk movie? Do you think they shouldn't have ended it like that? I felt like that was a cop-out ending of Hulk and Wolverine just jumping at one another. I was like, really? You could, and it was 37 minutes long. It felt like a TV special. You couldn't add, a little more, because they opened. Christopher Yeoh said this was meant to be more of a Wolverine movie than it was a Hulk movie, and you could clearly see it in this little 30-minute special. I feel like they should have made it at least the length, the same length as the Hulk and Thor one, which was 45 minutes long. So to have two 45-minute specials, yeah, I would have preferred that more. Anyway, thank you for those questions, Travis Rendon. Moving on now to OverNerd03, who asks, what do you think it would be if Ross was Red Hulk during World War II? They kind of insinuate that he might have been in some cases, but they've dropped that story altogether, so it would have been interesting, but he would have kept his cover, obviously. Anyway, your second question is, out of all the evil Hulk characters like Ravage, Flux, and even Devil Hulk, which one of these three are underused in your opinion? They all are. They really all are. I always thought Ravage and Flux were really cool, but they were really more like one-off characters. Whereas Devil Hulk, I feel like Devil Hulk could make a reappearance any time. He's a very out of all of them, I think Devil Hulk's the one that's underused. I mean, hell, he was one of the main villains in the Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction game. You guys remember that game and how badass that was? He was a major villain in there. He was a major driving point in that story. So I am completely, I'm shocked that people don't use more Devil Hulk. It's great to bring back the psychology stuff of Banner and all that. So, yeah, out of all of them, I think it's Devil Hulk. So, okay, your third question is, do you think there should be a death battle between Hulk and Asura from Asura's Wrath? I'd be down for it. Yeah, I'd be down for it. I don't know how it would go. I don't know the statistics, how that would go, but yeah, I'd like to see it. And okay, so yeah, that's thank you for those questions, over nerd. Next comes Wolfman the Impaler, who asks, if you were to sit down with either Bruce or the Hulk, what would you ask either of them? I don't know, really. I really don't know what I would ask either of those two characters. I think I would ask, if anything, I would ask. I think I would ask, Bruce. I think if anything, I would ask Bruce, do you think you should have come to peace with Hulk sooner than, just now that you're working with S.H.I.E.L.D.? Because I think it would have gone a lot better if you could, done something like this sooner. I don't know what I'd ask Hulk, but that would be like, should you think you should have come to terms with the Hulk and use him as a force for good instead of just keep running away from everything sooner than later. So thank you for that question. The next question is, okay, I've already answered the She-Hulk question. Do you think Hulk would mellow out if you gave him some grade A Pineapple Express weed? I don't know. It would have to be like one giant blunt, though. That's all I can say. Anyway, thank you for those questions, Wolfman the Impaler. Now moving on to Matt Kaiser 08, who asks, do you think the Abomination and Orga are somewhat similar in concept? Yeah, but here's the thing, like, Orga was an alien who manipulated Godzilla's DNA to add to its own. Abomination was just tampering with gamma radiation, and he became a Hulk-like creature. So it wasn't like he acquired Hulk's DNA, it was more like he was dicking around with it, with gamma radiation and whatnot. So anyway, and your second question is, Hulk and the Agents of Smash in Equestria, what happens? Hilarity. That's all I can say. Hilarity ensues in this interesting crossover. Although, admittedly, I think Hulk would just be like, pet rarity. Pretty pony. Anyway, thank you for that question. Boo Rat 1 asks, but thank you for those questions, Matt Kaiser. Now moving on to Boo Rat 1, who asks, what color Hulk would you be? Green. Green's my favorite color. There you go. Green Hulk. Fuck, marry, kill. Abominatrix, Ogress, and Harpy. Abominatrix. Fuck. Kill Ogress and marry Harpy? I don't know. I really don't. You really make these things difficult. Anyway. Third question. If you could turn anyone else into the Marvel Universe into a Hulk and make it stick for the foreseeable future, who would it be? I think if anyone, it would probably be maybe I really don't know, honestly. I really don't know who I would have turned into the Hulk. There was a 1 point Spider Hulk, but that lasted for all of 5 stories, I think, or less. I don't know. I really don't. Okay, that was all your questions. Thank you for those questions, Boo Rat 1. Next comes Action Fan 19, who asks, do you think Agents of Smash could work as an actual team in the comics, being nothing like the current running cartoon? Oh yeah, I think a team. It kind of was like that in Greg Pak's Incredible Hulks run, which I actually really liked. I should have said earlier, but I really loved Greg Pak as a writer, up there with Peter David and Mark Waid. And I think that's where the idea came from in his Incredible Hulk story, where you had She-Hulk, Red She-Hulk, Hulk, Scar, and the Red Hulk and A-Bomb all together, and even Korg as well. So I'm surprised they didn't have, I think it could work, Agents of Smash as a comic book series. Absolutely. Just not, better written. That's all I ask. Second question. Would you like to see the return of Compound Hulk? For those wondering who Compound Hulk is, Compound Hulk is the Red and Green Hulk put together during this event called Scorched Earth. And it was so ridiculous, I loved it. That was the only reason I liked it, because it was so goddamn ridiculous. Yeah. So, I really enjoyed that. Anyway, thank you for that question. Next, your final one is, do you think Lyra, the Lyra She-Hulk, is underrated? Yeah, I feel like she is. Lyra, for those who don't know who Lyra is the Hulk and the Marvel Comics character Thundra's daughter. And she's technically Scar's half-sister. Lyra is, however, she's a great warrior and all that and has great strength. However, her crippling weakness is when she gets angry, she gets weaker. So I think she's underutilized, unfortunately. Anyway, think of those questions. Now moving on to next questions come from Andrew Varney, who asks, Hulk versus the legendary Super Saiyan Broly, who wins? I have no idea. That fight would probably break planets, that's all I can say. That fight would probably break planets. What would Bruce Banner think of the following characters? Doofenshmirtz, the Doctor, Bulma, Phineas and Ferb, Darth Vader, and Daryl Dixon. I think he'd look at Dixon and be like, you're a total friggin' hillbilly. Doofenshmirtz, he'd be like, you're an idiot. Vader would probably, Vader would force choke him and then he would Hulk out. Phineas and Ferb, I think he would really like to, obviously we've seen the Hulk team, meet them in the Marvel crossover, but not, Banner I think would be curious to see how their tech works. Bulma, him and Bulma would just have so much fun, playing with science. And the Doctor, I think, but he would look at, especially this Doctor, and be like, don't piss me off. And your final question is, what would the Hulk's reaction... what would be the Hulk's reaction to being part of Disney? I think it would be something along the lines of, it's a job. Alright. Next set of questions come from the Spawn... Oh yeah, thank you for those questions, Andrew Varney. Next set of questions come from the Spawn117, who asks... Sorry, I had to get more water. If you haven't noticed, this Q&A is kind of running a while. What would happen if the Hulk went against Alucard? That fight would go on forever. I've thought about it multiple times of who would win in that matchup between those two. Hulk and, Alucard would just keep smashing each other. God, I don't even, Hulk could probably stand up to, Alucard's, finals form. Obviously his true self. But as Alucard has said in the past, no, only a man can kill me, and the Hulk is certainly not a man. Alright, your second question is, since there is a Grey Hulk and Red Hulk, what do you think of a Blue Hulk? We technically already have that with A-Bomb. He's technically like the Blue Hulk, really. Yeah. That's a funny little joke right there. Alright, your third question is, who would win in an epic rap battle of history? Hulk versus Kratos. Begin. I can't rap. And it would probably be a lot of Kratos mad and Hulk smash. That would probably be the extent of the said rap battle. Anyway, thank you for those questions, the Spawn117. Moving right along to Dylan Malone14, who asks, do you think the Hulk as the leader of a do you see the Hulk as a leader of a superhero team? I think if you want to go comics-wise, because obviously in animation he's the leader of a team, I think he can lead a team, and he's led the Warbound in Planet Hulk, so that's not too much farther of a distance. Who is your favorite Hulk character? Red Hulk, Grey Hulk, etc., and why? Kind of already answered this already with, a few other questions, so I'm going to have to skip it, unfortunately. If you could send the Hulk to any universe, where will he go and why? Well, I would have said the Attack on Titan universe, but Marvel's already done the Marvel Attack on Titan crossover that's going on, and Hulk ripping through Titans. So, maybe have Hulk smash his way through, I don't know. Where could the Hulk go, exactly? Where could the Hulk go throughout the universe? Where would he fit best? I don't know, really. Maybe... I think it would be fun to see him in maybe the Halo universe. That's a random thought. There you go. Hulk versus Covenant. There you go. So thank you for those questions, Dylan Malone. Next comes Robert Avram, who asks, if the Hulk was in a 5-way fight against Solomon Grundy, Doomsday, Abomination, and Lobo, who would win? I have no idea. That fight would go on for years, though, more than likely. That's all I can say on that. Alright, what songs do you think the Hulk would listen to? Well, I would usually say, like, maybe he would listen to thrash metal or something, but I would imagine the Hulk, to keep him calm, Hulk would be listening to a lot of Moody Blues. I also could totally see the Hulk just sitting against a tree listening to Nights in White Satin by the band. So yeah, a lot of moody blues. Maybe some Jethro Tull in there as well. But that's a little bit. Anyway. And your final question is, if the Hulk was in Toriko, in the Toriko world, what would happen? I don't really have a lot of knowledge of Toriko, unfortunately. I'm sorry, Robert Avram. I really don't have a lot of knowledge of that universe, so I'm kind of useless in that department, unfortunately. Anyway, so thank you for the questions, though. Moving right along to Venom Rules All. First question is, would you like to see Devil Hulk return? Gonna answer this one because he's asking, would I like to see Devil Hulk come back? Yeah! I think, once again, like I said when I talked about who's an underused Hulk, Devil Hulk is one because he's a part of Banner's psyche. He's the darkest part and most brutal part of Banner's psyche. Of course he would be, you can't really make that go away. I would like to see him come back sometime. You know? Alright. So, that's what I think. Next question. Do you like Maestro Hulk? Yeah, I love the Maestro Hulk. I really geeked out when he showed up in Bendis' Avengers story arc involving Kang, and it was really crazy, but at the same time I really enjoyed it. Third question. When the real Abomination returns, would you like to what do you think would be a good comeback for him? I really don't know. I'm not really so good on the resurrection type thing. Just don't make it a clone or whatever. Maybe have him come back like maybe Mephisto or someone else in the underworld wants him and sends they want the Hulk's soul and they send Abomination back and now he has all these hell powers. That'd be cool. I guess that'd be one way. There you go. Okay. Thank you for those questions. Venom Rules All. Next comes Ryan Uselton. I do apologize for butchering that last name, sir. But Hulk versus Doomsday. Your thoughts? Man, that fight would just go on forever. Hulk and Doomsday, they're just like so evenly matched. I would imagine if Hulk is going to be in any death battle, it would probably be against Doomsday. That would be my bet. Anyway, second question. Favorite movie Hulk, 2003, 2008, or 2012? I would have to say my favorite version of the Hulk, I like the Avengers style of Hulk. I like that character design. It looks very Jack Kirby-esque. But I would have to say, I really liked the 2008 design. I really liked it. It really had the feel of Savage Hulk. Like, you looked at it, I was like, oh yeah, that's the Savage Hulk right there. So that's what I think. And your final question is, favorite movie Banner, 2003, 2008, 2012. I've liked all the actors who played Bruce Banner. I've liked all of them, including Eric Bana. I mean, yeah, the movie was not... I don't really hate the Hulk movie as much as most people. I admit it's not a great film in no way, shape, or form, but I can sit through it and be like, wasn't that bad. I mean, yeah, I would rather prefer the 2008 one, but yeah, Edward Norton and Mark Ruffalo are both really great Bruce Banners, so... I don't really have a particular favorite Bruce Banner because they've all been really great. So yeah, thank you for those questions, Ryan. Moving right along to Chris Haddock, whose first question is, has nobody thought of an solution to restrain the Hulk is to not attack him? Unfortunately, no. That remains to, if we didn't have Hulk fight, someone attack the Hulk, we wouldn't have badass Hulk fight scenes. At least that's the logic I think is going on. Second question is, imagine the Hulk in anger management. There would be no more anger management if the Hulk went in there and they said something he didn't like. That's what I think. Alright. I have a rough idea, but but I would like to know, how would you like to see the Hulk in the Noir universe? Maybe have it that Banner is working on a super soldier project, similar to like he was in the movie. Like he's trying to, instead he's trying to make like a super soldier project to fight the upcoming Nazis, because obviously in Noir, the Nazis are on the rise, and, I'd have the U.S. government like, we need Banner to build us a special, a special elixir that can make super soldiers. And, they cut the funding because they decide, no, we don't really need drugs to make soldiers. So Banner tests it on himself, and he becomes the gray-skinned Hulk. Not as strong, but more. I would make him more like Mr. Hyde, where he's not as strong. He's not like ridiculous like building smash strong, but more something maybe like he's just like this big alleyway brute that you just don't want to piss off. That's what he's kind of like. I don't know. That's my rough idea, just right off the bat. That's just, I don't know. Maybe I'd think of something better. I don't know. All right. Jerkwater100 asks, do you think Godzilla's atomic breath could hurt Hulk or make him stronger? Again, like someone else said, I really don't know how that fight would go down. I mean, obviously Hulk and Godzilla would be feeding off each other's radiation, but that would just be a continuous fight is all I could say. That fight would be just going on and on and on and on. Second question is, what are your thoughts on the 2003 Hulk film? Like I said, I don't hate it as much as other people do, but it's not a great film, to be honest. Alright. What superpower do you like to see the Hulk do? I'm always fond of when the Sonic clap shows up. Always happy when the Sonic clap shows up. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for those questions, Jerkwater. Now moving on to Yujiros Vasroras, who's... I've already answered this one of what type of music the Hulk would listen to. But your second question is, Superman, Hulk, Goku, and Grimlock, who wins? Man, that fight would... I don't even want to, begin to talk about the logistics of that fight. That would just be going on and on and on and on. I mean, I think Grimlock would be probably taken out first, but then, it'd just be Hulk. Maybe it would just be Superman, Hulk, and Goku throwing punches. I don't know. And Hulk, if Hulk was your best friend, what would you guys do together? I don't know. Maybe have it, just climb on his back and just have him jump around. I don't know. Kind of have that like a pseudo moment from that ending scene of a Never-Ending Story, something like that. All right. Next question comes from Predator Warrior 18, who asks, you're probably not going to see this question, but just in case that if the Hulk was in Attack on Titan universe and fought, obviously beat the female Titan, who would you think he'd kill her or spare her? I think he killed I think he killed Annie in the Hulk in the Marvel vs. Attack on Titans crossover. I could be wrong. That's what I heard, but I think he would spare her. I think he would honestly spare Annie. He wouldn't stoop so low. Thank you for that question, Predator Warrior. Next comes Tyreek Howard. I do apologize if I butchered that name, but he asks, how do you think the Hulk Bruce Banner would think of Godzilla, and do you think Bruce could sympathize with the Big G since their both creations had something to do with radiation? I think the Hulk would have some common ground with Godzilla. He would look at Godzilla and be like, this guy was born the same way I was, out of a nuclear bomb, and he's hunted by the very people who created him. And, everyone just wants to destroy him. They don't see, he's just a necessary purpose. So I think Hulk and Godzilla would probably understand each other, I mean, obviously be a fight, but still. Thank you for that question. Next question comes from Silent Knight 81, who asks, Hulk versus Doomsday, who wins and why? I honestly don't know, because again, Hulk and Doomsday's strength really varies these days. Well, Hulk is always like bringing out the impossible, and so is Doomsday. So it's real. The difficult thing with Hulk and Doomsday in a fight is that, excuse me, is that it's really hard to round up the variables in their strength, and I couldn't even do that because one, I suck at math, so I'm really the wrong guy to ask that kind of question. If you want to ask who's stronger than who, because I don't know. I honestly don't know who would win that fight. Your second question is, can Bruce Banner be killed by normal means? Yeah, he can. Bruce Banner can be killed. The problem is Hulk won't let him. Hulk will not let Banner die. In no case. Like, if Banner gets shot, Hulk will instantly, come out and heal the wound himself. His body will heal the wound, and Banner can be fine. Or something of that, some form of nature, some form of accident. Hulk's going to, Hulk out and keep Banner alive because he needs Banner, or else there would be no Hulk. So, yeah, to answer your question, yeah, he can be killed. It's just really hard as hell. Your third question is, has Hulk shown the ability to run or keep up in a fight with anyone with super speed? Not really. He hasn't been able to keep up with someone like Quicksilver or the other speedsters in the Marvel Universe. He hasn't been able to do that. But, when you have the strength of, I don't know, uncalculable, unmeasurable feats, I think strength beats out the speed. Anyway, thank you for those questions, Silent Knight 81. Next question comes from Nobodies, who asks, who would you get to write and direct a live-action Planet Hulk movie for the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Okay, I'm going to answer this one because he's asking about if there was a Planet Hulk movie. I really don't know. I know you said Peter Jackson. I really don't know who I would get to direct a Planet Hulk movie. I honestly don't know. I'm not really good with picking those out, so I do apologize for that. Thank you for that question, Nobodies. Next comes Timori603. Apologize for if I messed up that name. And the question is, do you think that Bruce and Betty will remarry someday? I would love to see Bruce and Betty remarry. Same as I'd like to see Peter and MJ remarry. The problem is Marvel and DC don't like marriages. So, as much as I'd like to see that, well, I doubt we'll ever see it. I doubt we'll ever get it. That's the sad part. Alright. Your second question is, do you think Scar needs his own book? He had his own book, originally by Greg Pak, and that's how he was introduced into the series, but into the Hulk universe. But yeah, I think it's time that Hulk, Scar can carry his own series. I think he's capable of doing that. So yeah, I think that's a possibility. And your final question is the Hulk his own worst enemy? Yeah, Hulk can be his own. Well, Banner and Hulk are one and the same, so they can be their own worst enemy. That's the sad but true fact, is that no matter if it's Leader or Abomination, Banner and Hulk are their own worst enemies. So that's the sad but true fact. Anyway, thank you for those questions, Timori. Next comes Robert Hernandez, who asks, could the Hulk beat Superman and how many times they fight? Well, here's the thing. Hulk's never really beaten Superman in a fight. Like, all the Hulk, Marvel DC crossovers, Hulk's never beaten Superman. I mean, they fought in a draw once in the Roger Stern comic, where Hulk fought, Superman and Hulk fought in, like, the 60s setting. But that was it. They fought to a draw then. Then you had the Marvel vs. DC fight where people voted that Superman should win. And then you had the second Spider-Man-Superman crossover where Hulk made an appearance and Superman managed to get Hulk to calm down, thus getting him to win the fight. So, yeah, Superman's actually, sadly, canon-wise, Hulk has only gotten one draw in the fight. The other times have been kind of technically knockouts. Not really, actually not knockouts, excuse me. Not really so much knockouts, more like, yeah, Superman's been able to win the other ones. One fan voted, the other one just, Superman managed to get Hulk to calm down. But yeah, also in that comic, in the Spider-Man Superman second story, this is in the second one, not the first one where they met, Hulk, he managed, Spider-Man fought Wonder Woman to a draw, so, yeah. And the final question is, what would Deathclock think of the Hulk? They would think he's the most brutal thing known to mankind. He would... I honestly think they would just think he would be one of the most powerful things, and just look at him and be like, okay. Like, Nathan Explosion would just look at him and go like, okay guys, new album, Hulk Smash! Yeah. So anyway, guys, hope you all enjoyed this. And once again, if I didn't answer someone's question, that usually means YouTube was being a jerk. But once again, I hope you all enjoyed this on a whole. And yeah, anyway, hope you all enjoyed the Q&A, and I'll see you guys later. Also, one more thing I want to mention before I go is that if anyone's curious, I have two Q&A preludes in the previous two videos, one being my second Code Lyoko Q&A, and the other being a Q&A centered around the Nickelodeon show El Tigre. So if you guys haven't already, you can go back and ask, of course, the 3 questions for those two Q&A preludes. But once again, hope you all enjoyed this Q&A. This was a lot of fun. 56 questions, man. Total of 56 questions. This was insane. I'm surprised I powered through it the way I did. But yeah, once again, I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'm out.